1.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to Frameshift Live, episode number 21. This is the official Elite Dangerous fortnightly live stream. You're looking at me and throwing me off. Don't do it.
Hadn't said a word.
This is the official fortnightly Elite Dangerous live stream where we talk all things Elite Dangerous. I'm one of your hosts, community manager Bruce Garrido, and I'm joined by the splendiferous Arthur Tolmie.
Thank you, Bruce. Thanks for inviting me on to the stream. Sorry that by looking at you,
don't look at me, don't talk to me, just to them.
Apparently I'm the diva, chat, but apparently it's Bruce. But no, it's great to be here. We've got a few things to talk about today because we're approaching update 14, which we'll get to some of those details a bit later on. I know some of you are very keen to find out some juicy bits and bobs, and we do have some news to share. Not everything, because some of it we can't share, but we do have some cool stuff to share with you later on. But yeah, thanks for coming in. 07 to everyone in the chat. There's quite a few people in there. So I see Aramis, 420 Fish Sticks, Dark Blaze, Grip Shark, Camel Number 1, Ian Phillips, SV, started now, it's going really fast. KS Drago, Greyhound, Phoenix Defire, Drinky Bird, Condic, Deathwatch, there's 07, lots of people. Can you see anyone in there?
Loads of people in the chat. Chris, Jace, Plater, Adrian, Specimen.
You're talking to me now again.
Eddie, Mictronics, Prince Hugo, Stargoid, Jouse, Battle Ghost, Nem, War, Shot, Space Ghost, Roffer, Andrew Jackson, Scorbius, welcome.
Yes, we can see everyone from all chats as well. So we can see YouTube and we can see Twitch in here. And there's something in here, I think R is us. So somebody's typing in here from R. I just realised there's R came up. I was like, who's R? What platform is that? And I said, it's clearly Restream.
That is ours.
So yes, 07 to everyone. Thanks for joining. Hope you've had a wonderful week.
Yes, absolutely. I think we'll go straight into things fairly shortly. We're going to do a little bit of spiel about the Twitch drops, as we often want to do, because we have some new drops.
It's my favourite part with you, Bruce. It's my favourite part.
We have some new drops on the show. But before we do dive into everything, I just wanted to give a little bit of a heads up. It will be a slightly shorter show this week as we prepare for Update 14, which is no doubt one of the biggest we've done basically since Odyssey. But in the next stream, which is going to be literally the day after Update 14, we're expecting to have a much bigger bumper show. We'll have guests on, we'll have people talking about everything that has come out and how it was designed, etc., etc. So do hang on for that. And like Arthur has said, we will share a few details in this one just to tease you a little bit about what might be coming.
Yeah.
But before all that...
right, chat, this channel our energies for Bruce to get this right. Come on. And he's got it written in front of him.
Lend me your energy.
I think we can do this. Come on.
Okay. So, for those of you who are new, we have Twitch drops on these shows every 2 weeks, always on. And they comprise of 2 different packages. The first of which is the purple set. You consider this like a starter pack that we share every single show. And once you've claimed them, you've claimed them. So
you can do it. You can do it.
But there is something to bear in mind, which is you put so much pressure on me. I can't even get the words out.
Basically, the purple pack runs on the Twitch timeline, doesn't it? It's 28 days.
It does. So every 28 days, this will cycle round, which means if you're halfway through claiming the set, when that 28 days takes over, you will have to start again. But don't worry, it's only 2 hours long to get the whole lot. And the starter pack includes 5 items in total. So at 15 minutes, you're going to start off by getting the Ancestral Tattoo pack. At half an hour, you get the purple flight suit. After 1 hour, you get the purple SRV and fighter colors. 90 minutes gets you the purple weapon and engine colors, and then at 2 hours, you get the vibrant purple paint jobs.
Brilliant. Almost perfect.
Almost. I couldn't handle all the...
Pressure, Bruce. Pressure. You got it, though. It's fine.
Okay.
It's all right. But that's not all, is it, Bruce?
That's not all. So like I say, those ones are always on, though. So if you do miss them, don't worry. You will get them when it ticks over again, as long as you do reach the 2 hours within a given month. And we are streaming twice a month, essentially, for usually about 2 hours a pop. So plenty of opportunity to get all of those. And then the other pack that we mentioned are the seasonal paint jobs. So obviously we do holiday ones. We recently had Halloween, which was really popular.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I think those went down pretty well.
Cool. They're gassed, and then the bats as well, don't they? Some of them as well. Right. Yeah, they're really cool. Really nice.
Right. And obviously we'll have something cool for Christmas. So it's not even a spoiler. I'm just going to tell you, there's stuff coming for Christmas. But before then, we're going to finish off the autumn season. I know we're kind of stretching the definition of autumn, but these are the last two from that set, which are the Autumn Topaz and Sapphire. I think it's the Sapphire on your screens right now for the Asp Explorer. So you'll get these just by watching 15 minutes of today's show. Like I say, 15 minutes will actually get you both of these. So there we go. There's the Topaz one on screen now.
I think I prefer the Topaz, if I'm honest.
More than the Sapphire?
I like them both, but I think just Topaz, it's just nicer for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's got more of a contrast, I think. Obviously, the Sapphire one blends a bit better, but yeah.
So 15 of your Earth minutes will garner these 2 skins for nada, for zip. Just make sure you've done all the housekeeping stuff right. You have to have your account linked, and you have to claim them. I'm too old to understand Twitch stuff. It's for you kids out there.
No,
all right?
in fairness, it's so simple that you've already nailed it. So
That's what I do.
yeah, as long as your accounts are connected, you'll be earning Twitch drops just by watching on the Frontier or Elite Dangerous channels. And to connect your accounts, head over to twitch.frontierstore.net/elite and link up your 2 accounts.
Actually, there's some people made some valid points in the chat. Actually, I think it's something we should look at for next. It won't be for this year, obviously, but for next year. People are asking about skins for certain ships. So perhaps maybe we could look at doing maybe early January doing some polls on what skins we give away during stream. So what particular ships, chat, if that would be a good idea. Because people are asking for stuff like the Beluga or maybe the Asp Scout. Do you remember that? Do you remember the Asp Scout?
No,
F in the chat.
What's the Asp Scout?
The Asp Scout is once you've had 3 too many sherbets. But maybe we could do that in the new year. Have a little poll, see what sort of ships we might do skins for. What ships do you think would be not? Because we've done what we done like Anaconda, we've done Asp, we've done Python,
Type 9.
We've done the Cobra.
We've done the Crates, Phantom.
Of course, you've done the Crate. Don't you ship you haven't done, Bruce? Just gonna put it out there.
The Adder. The
No, yeah.
The Challenger.
Again, but there's still one ship that really could do with just a little bit of love. That perhaps if we get a hand in its design, we could help design a really cool ship skin for a particular ship that some say is the best ship in the game.
The other Crate, the Mark II.
So we'll put the Chieftain on for next year and make sure there's some skins for the Chieftain. Yes, we can have. I think it's a good idea actually to have the community pick which ones we do for the drops.
Yeah,
after all,
like
they can earn them right for free.
We did do the DBX as well. I think for the spring.
DBX
set.
was in there. DBX was in there.
Yeah. So when we were designing these, we tried to cover. How do I put it? A lot of the popular ships. We spread a fairly wide net. But now that we've done a few, I can see us expanding our reach a little bit and trying to cover some more of the niche sort of specialty ships like the Chieftain, for example, where you've got like very specific.
Yes, where the best pilots.
People on the fringes who like those sort of. Out
yeah,
there
you're right. You're right.
ships.
They are only really flown by a small number of pilots because it's the best pilots. So that's why it's only a small number of pilots fly that ship.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it'd be cool. The other thing to be aware of, chat, is we don't just do. I say we, Bruce primarily. We won't just look at skins for Twitch drops. We're also looking to be earned in game. So we're well ahead of where the narrative is going. So we're trying to plan in for some stuff that you can earn in game as well. So not just here, you'll be able to do it in the game as well.
For sure. And hopefully some of you took part in the Halloween event and did exactly that, which was great. And we're going to continue that in that way with more that you can earn.
Yeah. So I've started a conversation now. I actually don't mind a Crusader. Crusader's a decent ship. We used it for. Remember we did the video because that was the one we had access to with 4 seats and we could have everything in it. It's a really cool dual ship kind of thing. Well, not dual ship, but it's the best of the.
Yeah, Crusader's pretty good. Pretty good. Won't displace the Chieftain though in your heart then.
No, I love the Chieftain. I love the Chieftain. The minute I saw it advertised, I think it was. I wasn't here. I had another job. I think it was Frontier Expo, and I remember it coming up, and it was just the cockpit. I think was what was teased of the Chieftain, and I fell in love with it just from that initial shot. I think it might have been behind Ed. So I remember just falling in love with it. I was like, that is the ship for me. I didn't care what it did. I just fell in love with how it looked.
Fair.
And then when it came out, it was primarily, I guess, an AX combat ship. Although I don't do AX combat very well, I just enjoyed it. Just really enjoyed it. I still think it's the best looking ship. It reminds. It's got. You're staring at me now, like you're waiting for me to say more. It reminds me of a lot of the stuff from like Ridley Scott's Alien, like the way it lands, the lander comes down, and it's got all these different moving parts. But a lot of ships have this. I didn't realise a lot of the sort of minuscule details you might miss in some of our ships, like the overheating of stuff on the Gutamaya ships is really cool. Because I don't fly them because they're too sleek, too clean. I don't really notice.
You like something a little bit bulkier.
Yeah, I lived in, you know?
Sure.
So yeah, so we'll have a look at that. So Twitch drops, they're live today, 15 minutes will get you those, and if you manage to do, what it was, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, you'll get the purple Twitch set. So there we go. What are you looking for? You're scrolling, you're doom scrolling, what are you doing? What's this, what are you looking for? Oh, don't bring this up. But just before you bring this up, right, this wasn't me, right? And everyone thought it was me. I was actually busy this day, and you decided, or someone decided, to do a poll on Twitter.
Yeah, so on the 8th, I mean, I just thought we were on the topic of the Chieftain and good-looking ships and whatnot. And for anyone who missed this, we held a poll on Twitter just to see what people think, you know, especially with AX combat being such a hot topic right now. We thought we would say, which ship is the best at crushing bugs? And we said the Chieftain versus the Crate. And after a mighty 1,729 votes, we gave the Crate the best possible chance by kind of bigging up the Chieftain. But it did get crushed 40-60.
You can't. 40-60 is not being crushed. It's not being crushed. Right? Just to be clear on that, that is not being crushed. If it was 80-20, crushed. Right? 70-30, significant defeat. 60-40, narrow loss. That's what I like to. That's what I say. Narrow loss.
So in a narrow landslide, yeah, the Crate did win against the. But that's fine. We'll hold out more polls. Maybe we can try.
We'll do another poll.
We'll try it against the Sidewinder next time. See how it does.
No, because I know what this community. You're just going to troll me. Like I know what's going to happen, right? You could put it up against a fish stick, and the fish stick would win. Right? I'm not having it. I'm not going to tolerate it. That's it now. I'm gonna get my. I'll get you back. Don't you worry. I'll get you back.
All right.
Right. So what's next on our list?
So we can hop right into what's happening in the story. Shall we transition?
Yes,
to the
we
Super
shall.
Cruise news.
It's there. At last, we got it in. We got it in. Thank you very much, producer Adam and the creative service team, actually, for making sure everything fitted in with wherever's going. But big shout out to Tokoso for providing me a number of stings, all of great quality. So thank you so much for getting it in. That's so much fun. I'm a real big fan of that. Cool.
It's a little bit better than the fill-ins that we had to do, you know, ad hoc.
Yours is pretty good, though. Hey, can you give us a little?
I feel like I've got to retire that now.
Really?
We might do it for like a special, maybe. Now and then, but in fairness, Tokoso's is so good. I think we'll retire the old one.
All right. Okay. I mean, it's hard to compete with that. I mean, it's
tough. Yeah,
fantastic.
for sure. No, thank you very much, Tokoso. All right. In Elite Dangerous news this past week, shall we take these one by one?
We can. Do you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the 10th of November 3308, an article was published entitled Azimuth Claim Expensive Success, and this relates to the community goal that happened, and we'll share the results of those momentarily. But in the article it said, the recent Azimuth Biotech initiative to expand its operation assets has been described as a partial success. The primary goal of obtaining sufficient resources to establish a new anti-Xeno megaship has been met, Azimuth CEO Torben Rademacher announced. The megaship is expected to be operational within the next few weeks.
Operational in the next few weeks, sorry. Yes, well, that's good. Good, well done, Azimuth Biotech. Good guys. Good guys and girls out there fighting the good fight, doing what has to be done.
It's hard to say whether commanders who helped out Azimuth were doing it because they can separate the man from the corporation, or if there were maybe a bit of a carrot on a stick that was that they were chasing.
Well, I'm not saying that. Anyways, so right, okay. So next news piece, which is also on the 10th of November 3308, was the headline "Understanding the Thargoid Roar." So Professor Alba Tessero, Professor Ishmael Palin, and Ramtar have not professor. I think the birds covered this up actually. So apparently Ramtar doesn't get any sort of prefix. Just it's Ramtar.
Prefix, just
like Prince.
He's just a geese, is he?
Just a geese. Released a joint statement regarding the alien sound heard in HIP 22460. There has been much speculation around the mysterious noise that was recorded following the Battle of HIP 22460, which is clearly of Thargoid origin. Thanks to the help of I never can say it, like Sojin, formerly known as Subject D2, we have started to comprehend some of its meaning, which I'm sure we'll come to in a minute.
Absolutely.
But interesting.
Very interesting. The following day, the FSS scanner upgrade was released, and this is an additional one to the prior upgrade. And this went out as a Pilots Federation alert. Did I say something silly, or did it?
No, I was just reading that it said that Ramtar dropped out of school, so he's just Ramtar. He was the guy with the leather jacket selling cigarettes behind the bike shed. That's Ramtar. He was just.
He's the cool Palin.
He's the cool. Yeah.
Got it. So this Pilots Federation alert went out to notify everyone that a version of the the FSS scanning software used to track the Thargoid anomalies has been made available to the Pilots Federation. Commanders should experience reduced interference when using the full spectrum system in brackets FSS scanner to focus on the anomalies. The team leading the development of the software, however, warned that the resultant clarity has done little to ease the concerns of Professor Palin, Ramtar, and other leading scientists.
Okay. So, on the 14th of November, merely 3 days ago, 3308, Xeno pieces reject their prediction of war. What I'm going to do, because it was a rookie mistake here, I haven't turned off the sounds on my laptop, so apologies, chat, if you're getting bleeps. That's now fixed. So Xeno pieces reject the prediction of war. A claim that the rogue signal sources form part of a potential Thargoid offensive has been disputed by many of the pro-peace movement. A joint statement by respected xenologist Professor Alba Tessero, Professor Ismail Palin and Ram Tar concluded that the approaching anomalies are a reaction to events in HIP 22460 and may have dire consequences for humanity. The 8 signal sources are projected to arrive in the core systems within weeks.
Weeks, huh? That's not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time. I definitely turned off sounds. I've definitely turned the sounds back on. Don't give Arthur technology. We know this. Right, come on. Right, there we go.
The following day, the public were unnerved by Palin's announcement. So on the 15th of November, 3308, the announcement that the rogue signal sources were heading towards the core systems and the fact that they are Thargoid in origin caused unease within the general public. Protests in systems on the edges of human space have taken place, demanding assurances from local governments about their safety. The failure to establish a collective human fleet to counter Thargoid incursions has left many concerned about what the future may hold.
People are getting worried. I mean, and rightly so. Perhaps one of the people in
I think that's fair.
I think it's fair. I'd be a little bit worried.
Our relationship with the Thargoids thus far has been
Tetchy.
Rocky, yeah.
It's not been the greatest, has it? Okay, and then also same day, the 15th of November, 2 days ago, Coalsack Nebula reports Thargoid activity. So the human colonists in the Coalsack Nebula have raised the alarm after Thargoid forces appeared in several systems. Following recent attacks on systems and vessels in the California Nebula, it appears the Thargoids have again sought to occupy systems where barnacle fields are present on planet surfaces. To tell us more about these events as they unfold, we're going to hand things over to Commanders Wotherspoon and Beetlejude from the Galnet News Digest.
That's right, and let's roll that clip.
Galnet News Update, 16th of November 3308. Huge numbers of Thargoids have flocked into systems in the Coalsack Nebula that contain barnacle sites, and they're just hanging around, apparently waiting for something to happen. The upsurge in non-human signal sources was noticed on the morning of the 15th of November. It follows a similar pattern to the recent infestation in the California Nebula, with huge numbers of Thargoids turning up in barnacle-rich systems and just hanging about in large numbers. They've made no attempts to attack the starports or megaships in these systems, and while they will attack ships that drop into their location, they do not at present appear to have any purpose. Councillor Lewis Laychurch of the Alliance Expeditionary Pact in HIP 62154 admitted that the Alliance is aware that the Thargoids are unhappy with humanity plundering meta-alloys from the Thargoids' organic mining rigs. He described how the whole sky seems to be full of Thargoids, no matter where you point the scanner. With 8 Stargoids likely to arrive in human-occupied space within days, there must be a concern within Alliance circles that the Thargoids might be awaiting their opportunity to take back the California Nebula and the Coalsack Nebula from humanity. There has not yet been a noticeable uptick in the number of Thargoids in the Pleiades or the Witchhead Nebula, but the authorities in those areas too must be watching the skies with growing trepidation. In related news, the anti-Xeno organisation Azimuth Biotech, which is blamed by many for starting this new wave in the war against the Thargoids, has changed its mind about where Mbuni permits will be issued. Mbuni is important because that system's surface base, Prospects Deep, is currently the only retail outlet for for Azimuth's range of anti-Xeno weaponry. Permits will be on sale aboard the Azimuth megaship Glorious Prospect as planned, but in order to make the process of obtaining a permit easier, the megaship will be stationed from Thursday in LHS 1163, which is close to Mbuni, rather than Titori, which is not.
Awesome stuff from the Galnet News Network. Great.
Yes, the rival news network Galnet News Digest, who are far more professional than us.
Please, we're going to have to do this skit like in Anchorman where we just all cycle up. Fancy meeting you here.
But yes, no, we always like to shout out Wotherspoon and Beetlejuice and the amazing work they do rounding up Galnet. And this time we thought we'd show one of their clips. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. You can also use ! Galnet News Digest to go straight to their channel. And we would encourage you to do so because they do really great coverage of all these events as they unfold.
Yes, indeed.
We'd also be remiss not to mention Witch Space News, which comes from Reenie and Burr over at the Burr Pit, and you've got a command for that as well, which is !Burr. They like to cover all the in-game news, as well as surrounding community bits as well. They do that very well.
We actually can make that scene happen, you know, with different news teams.
We can now, yeah. Well, we've got 3 parties right there.
Witch Space News. We should do it. Right, okay. Cool. Is it me or is it you on this one? It's you, isn't it, I think, this one?
Sure, yes. So the most recent article is all about the CG that has just started today. So I'll read this out. This is the Kingfisher Xeno Peace mission. So in the article that went out today, the 17th of November 3308, was a Pilots Federation alert. The Kingfisher megaship has requested supplies for its planned journey to greet the first rogue signal source. Shipments of basic medicines, fruit and vegetables are required for the Kingfisher's crew, who will be joined by over 3,000 supporters of the Thargoid Advocacy Project. Semiconductors and muon images have also been requested to establish the mission's communications arrays, which are being designed to initiate contact with the Thargoids.
So it's good. It's good. A lot of people, a lot of equipment. I'm sure they'll do some great things.
Yeah.
Talking to the old Thargoids.
Reach out a hand, say
say
hello.
Yeah, of course. Why not? See what happens.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. Well,
I just hope we don't. I've seen this a lot in the chess world, actually, surprisingly. People going to shake hands, one of them goes for the fist bump.
Oh, not the.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's awful.
I hope we can avoid that kind of situation.
That'd be
if
bad,
nothing else, even if if we're friendly, enemies, doesn't matter. At least
get the handshake.
Don't let it be awkward.
Yeah, it's a handshake or a fist bump. Don't do the claw or the crab or whatever it is, the clam. That's horrible. Also, shout out another news network, Lave Radio. So there's a lot. Right. There's a lot of news networks out there. All of them viable. All of them exceptional. Obviously, we're the greatest. We are the 07 News
Which
team,
we'll prove in the car park as and when that's all
As
arranged.
and when we, I think you've got a hand grenade, so fine. Right, okay.
Before we disappear, I actually wanted to give a shout out to, so like I mentioned, this actually kicks off the CG that has just started to support the Kingfisher's mission. And I actually wanted to give a shout out to one of our volunteer moderators on the forums. So actually, if we show our first image, so there are 2 community goals, like we mentioned, related to this initiative to deliver. So this first one is basic medicines, fruits and vegetables, as well as muon images and semiconductors. I just wanted to shout out Keytrax, who always does these really good summaries, immaculate summaries really, of every community goal. So if you want to find out all the information, what you need to do, where you need to go, what the context is, etc. Obviously you've got the Galnet article for the story, but in terms of all those details, head over here, ! CG will actually take you to that section of the forums. You can see it in the top left there as well. Forums, Elite Dangerous, Features of Elite, Community Goals is the section you want. And it's always there in the sort of pinned section. So shout out to Keytrax. Thank you so much for doing that. And you can also share your thoughts about the community goals in the comments there as well.
So as always, thanks to all the mods that do all the work you do. It is really appreciated by the team and I. So thank you.
And I think we also have another image for the other parallel community goal.
I think it just flicked, didn't it? Did it just flick then? Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And in bounty vouchers.
There we go.
For Deutsche Elite, Piloten Interstellar. Piloten. That's German.
Suppose it is.
Yes.
Cool. All right. On the topic of community goals, we should also probably shout out the winners from the Azimuth-related community goals that we mentioned right at the top of our Super Cruise News segment. So, like we mentioned, Azimuth claimed expensive partial success in their initiative. So, I think we also have an image to show off all of the winners from those community goals.
Oh, wow.
So, we ran 3 at the time. So, this was to deliver things for Azimuth. Others were there to disrupt those deliveries, and yet some more were there to protect the same deliveries. So, should we, again, take it in turns? I'll read out the first list.
Sure.
So, in first place for that first community goal, we have Grimbon G. Ripper. Then we have Alex Koff, Juliath, Lurkstish, Mark Cole, Josephine Baker, Der Kleiner Frank, Garades, 0421, and Sheena. Well done to everyone on that community goal.
Nice. And then for the Disrupt Azimuth, we have JR250, Fred89210, WDX, sorry. I see, okay. So we also have Far Tisty, Lydlin, Hollyfire, CP Luez, Max Power Ammo, Malavant, and MV Cohorn.
Congratulations to all of our winners from that community goal. And then finally, protecting the Azimuth deliveries, we had Dull Dave, Lockjammer, Tocqueville, Holy Fire again, wow, playing both sides.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that is a real mercenary.
Lidlin, Blue Pilot, Kissenaugen, 89, MX Jedi, Strog Berserker, and Zion VR. Well done to everybody.
That's a bit of a Quake reference, isn't it? Strog?
Is it?
I think Strogs were Quake, yeah, Quake 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I probably am wrong, to be fair. Okay, and I think that quite succinctly wraps up our Super Cruise news segment. Amazing. We're going to play that every opportunity. All right, so the next thing, I guess, is we've got a little bit of news for you. So we want to talk through about update 14, which will be arriving, well, we can confirm the date, which I believe really has been confirmed, but if you haven't seen it, it is November 29th. Obviously, that's the date we're scheduling for. If things change or we have to do something, we will, of course, let you know, but November 29th is the date we are looking at. It is a large update, so when we get downtime, et cetera, we'll let you know. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on in update 14. Now, I know as frustrating as it is for you, we can't talk about too much because a lot of it is linked directly to the narrative and what's going to be happening. I'm sure some of you have put some dots together. Some of you have put 2 and 2 together and got 74. Some of you have got it very close to what might be happening. Who knows? What we can say is there's a lot going to happen in 14. So we will be on a show, I think it's the day after, directly after, isn't it? So
yep. So we'll be on the 1st.
Yeah. So the reason why today's show is a little bit shorter, we had planned to do some interviews, but actually Bruce and I, when we talked about it, we were like, we want to talk in depth about these things that you're going to be encountering. So we would like to actually be able to do that without having too much sort of smoke and dagger sort of stuff. But we do want to tease you anyway, so I'm going to, because it's me. So let's talk about one of the things that you will be seeing in update 14 when it drops on November 29th. And one of the things we can talk to you about is a new Thargoid interceptor that you will be encountering in the game. We will not tell you what it's called or what it looks like. What can I say? I'll talk a bit about its behaviour, Bruce, about its behaviour?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about how it behaves. I think the first thing to mention is it won't be your run-of-the-mill interceptors. It's going to be a little bit more uncommon as well than maybe your typical. You won't experience or find them everywhere. And yeah, like Arthur's mentioned, it's also going to behave slightly differently.
It's going to be up to something very, very mysterious, which you're going to have to work out, which we'll leave to you. It does not like to be disturbed, I think. Yeah, it's about as far as I can go with that one. And again, won't tell you why. I will also, as you're aware, I think, you know, the work that Professor Palin and not Professor Ramtar and co have been doing, we've established that the
Civilian Ramtar,
they are very clear in the sense that Thargoids have a means to communicate with one another. So if you were to disturb said new interceptor, it's very likely is going to call out for help.
Yes, that's right. So I've got to be very precise in what I say here. When this interceptor detects someone nearby that it doesn't like, maybe yourself, it will call for help.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yes.
Help for it, not help for you.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one of the things we can talk about. Now, we also want to say and be very clear when we say this. These are the snippets that we can tell you about for 14, because there's a lot of fundamental changes happening in 14 that we can't talk about. So this is just kind of like icing on the top kind of bits.
Sure.
So please don't think you're just getting an interceptor. You're not. You're getting more. But yeah, that's that, I guess.
Yeah.
We're talking about we're doing a bit of tweaking to some of the biologicals. I think some of them may have gone out in some of the
I
news.
can't remember precisely which article it was, but one of the recent Galnets mentioned that Vista Genomics will essentially be upping the rewards for scanning new biologicals. Essentially, this allows us to make exobiology a little bit more lucrative, which we understand many of you biologists have been asking for a little while. It won't be coming this week, but it won't be in update 14 either. It's actually going to come next week, I think is the plan. And it's going to be a pretty significant pay increase. More on that as and when it comes out. But yeah, you'll be getting a nice little bump.
So we're still looking at stuff like that, and we are aware of all the feedback we're getting about different loops and stuff within the game, and we're still looking to address those as and when we can. The other thing I want to touch on very lightly is the sense that we are seeing a lot of players, obviously with what happened at HIP 22460, we saw a lot of players were getting involved in sort of anti-Thargoid combat. Kind of can't be away from it in the minute, really, to be honest. But we're also aware that some players who maybe are either new to Elite or just haven't gone through the Guardian sort of loop to get those higher end weapons are maybe struggling a bit with some of the higher end Thargoids you might be encountering. So there's stuff we're looking at with 14 just slightly after, where we're going to be readdressing some of that stuff for some of the stock AX weaponry. So you'll be able to get into, if you want to, you'll be able to get into a fight with a Thargoid without having to do the Guardian loop. It won't be as good as the Guardian weapons, but to be clear, they will definitely be the best weapons you can get for it, but they will certainly be a lot better than what you've got at the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want to make sure that for those who are AX combat inclined, they've got access to the tools that you need. And it's not, we understand that the stock AX weaponry is significantly weaker than the Guardian tech. It's not like there's a small gap, there's a fairly big gap. And up until recently, pardon me, with the success of the Azimuth Biotech community goal, now those Guardian weapons are available again. That's great, and we've made sure that was the case in time for update 14. However, like Arthur said, we appreciate not everyone has done that Guardian tech loop. They may not want to do that before getting right into the action. So this is about offering a slightly more powerful option than the stock weapons. But like we say, if you want to be fully kitted out, you are still going to have to get your hands on that Guardian stuff.
Yeah. So that's kind of the three things and I trust me, we want to say more, but we don't want to spoil it. There's a lot of stuff we really want you to experience for yourselves. I think a lot of the stuff you kind of know, the news should be leading you to, like, I've got to be very careful. Be so careful here.
I enjoyed you dancing around the name of the interceptor, because we know what it's called, but we just have to call it the interceptor.
So yeah. Anyways, look, it's going to be fun. It's a lot of stuff going on in the wider game with the update as well. We're not ignoring all the other stuff that players and suggestions are coming into us. So we're aware of some of the stuff around sort of engineering and some of those loops, and we are doing detailed feedback. Just to be clear on this, we're not ignoring you. Some of this stuff takes a lot of time to process because it's not just about changing numbers and stuff like that. But we are listening. We are still utilising stuff, and a lot of work is going on behind the scenes. And to be fair, we should probably shout out to all the developers. We do, but we don't say it like when they're not on stream. So
sure.
I want to take this moment just to thank all of the developers that are working on Elite at the moment, because the work you're doing is being in a privileged position. I'm going to take a moment, chat. Sorry, you have to bear with me. But being in a privileged position to see how hard they work and on the stuff that they're doing and the stuff that's coming for you as players, I can't be prouder of that team. Not that it's my place to be, but to work with a team like that, it's incredible. Not just the developers, but everyone involved in it. So you have lots of people that work in the PR department, like Sam, who works tirelessly to push the game. You have all of our friends in QA who go out and test as much as they do. Our friends in localization who translate. There are so many people that I've probably missed off that are involved in making this process work. We are very, very excited for 14 and what comes after that. I nearly just said something else and it got me right. Basically, yes. I've been looking at a document today, and I've been looking at it for so long that I nearly said something that was in that document. So it's like,
You're going to get shepherd's crooked off the side of the bar.
Yeah.
No, but that's fine. I would echo everything Arthur has said, and especially the fact that, yes, we're excited about the new Interceptor, yes, we're excited for new X weapons, and we're excited for rebalancing things like biologicals and so much more. But not to say those things are small. Obviously, those are significant, and the new Interceptor especially is a really juicy bit of content. But Update 14 is really bringing something big to the game, and we're super excited for it.
Yeah. And it's as we said before, and I've said this in the past, we are very cautious to deliver the way we have always delivered stuff in the past. Like, I remember how Thargoids were first introduced into the game, and that way back when, it's player first. Everything we do, we want you guys and girls to discover in your own time, in your own way. I had so much fun watching people discover, I call it the Grelic now, I think it's become like the colloquial term for it, but being on streams and watching as the previous update went out with the Azimuth finale, and watching players go into that scenario for the first time, and then discovering stuff, being on streams when the first anomaly was discovered, and then them tracking it. That is what we enjoy, and that's the experience we want to give to players, because we think it's far better to see that community react
for sure.
en masse than us go, oh look, here's a thing we're putting in right now, and it's like, we will do that in the future, and there is more to come in the future beyond update 14. I will confirm that now. I said it in the last stream. I will confirm that now, and there'll be news on that soon. And we will. Yeah, that's it. I've got to stop talking. Let's move on to the next subject before I say something. And
sure thing. No, 100%. We're trying to find that fine balance between hyping everyone up and sharing what we can, but also letting you discover these things for yourself, like Arthur said. And there's the right time and place to do that. Things like discovering the Grelics, etc., etc. All right, that's update 14. Shall we talk a little bit about community goings on at the moment for any group play you want to get involved in, for example?
Sure. Do you want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a community events calendar live on the website. If you haven't seen it before, you can use !calendar if you're watching us on Twitch to check that out. It's a place to find and share player-run events. So if you want to host an event, you can submit the details to something that you're going to host on there. We have a quick review of it, and if it's all Gucci, then we basically hit the tick button and it appears on this cool little calendar.
So I've just seen the first one there, Greet the Grelic.
Well, so we're going to be
Great Grelic run.
We're going to be talking about the Grelics in a moment, funnily enough. And equally, if you are a solo player but you're interested in joining a group or playing with someone else and doing some group content, then yeah, head over here, check out the events that are going on, and they tend to, so you can actually click on anything, say you know that you're going to be free on, I don't know, Friday the 25th, and you can see, oh, there's the Grelic event is running through that time. You can click on it, you'll find out more details, but we're going to tell you all about those ones as it happens today anyway. So, as you can see, the Buckyball Racing Club is presenting the Trouble with Triples race event, which actually...
Oh, that's what it did there.
It has been...
It's a Star Trek thing, isn't it? Do you know? It's a very famous episode. As I stare at you and I start talking to you about Star Trek, I just watch my soul. I can feel my soul leave my body. You don't know about Trouble with the Tribbles? The Trouble with the... Carry on, Bruce. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Isn't that a Glee thing? The Troublemakers.
Never speak to me again. No. I'll take this pause. Someone's asked me to say, can you talk about update 15? What I will say is we'll talk about update 15 closer to update 15. There you go.
Oh no, I'm getting so much not abuse in the chat. That's too strong a word, but people are channeling your disappointment.
I can't believe you don't get that reference. It's like it's not even like just a Star Trek reference. It's like they're everywhere. They're very well known. The Tribbles, little furry creatures just reproduce. They eat grain. They look really cute. Somehow in the new films produce regenerative blood that makes you immortal.
From
basically.
Star Trek.
Yes, Bruce, from Star Trek.
No,
from the episode Trouble with the Tribbles.
Do they cause trouble?
They do cause trouble because they eat all the grain.
By eating grain, right.
They make people feel good.
You can't just cull them.
They keep them around. Can't just what?
Cull them.
Well, they were warriors that went out and killed. Like, I think Cleon's.
So they're pretty mighty, these triple things. Like
Bruce. If you haven't seen them, they're terrifying. Yeah, absolutely terrifying.
You need warriors to fight these things off.
Warriors. Yeah.
Right. Got it.
Or a comb.
A comb.
If you've seen them, if you know, people will know what I mean.
All right,
it's fine.
Anyway, Trouble with Triples is a race that's been ongoing since the 12th and is ending on the 20th. So there's still time to get involved. I'll read out the buckyball post actually on the forum. So if you ever had a moment when you were out exploring or trading or running missions or otherwise traveling from one system to the other and only got a rude awakening by almost crashing into one of the stars from the system you jumped into, then this race is for you. Maybe you even passed through its atmosphere and scooped a bit of fuel. This can actually happen for very tight binary systems, depending on your angle of approach, but tight triples can leave you cooking between multiple stars. There are not many in the bubble, but you meet a handful here and hopefully live to tell the tale. This is the Trouble with Triples. This is a time trial event scheduled to run from midnight Saturday the 12th of November to midnight the Sunday the 20th. That's in-game time. You may race as many times as you like over this period, but all entries must start within those times. The race can be run on all platforms and in either Horizons or Odyssey. You can use !buckyball to see the forum post with all the details of the race, including the regulation ship builds. Good luck to anyone who dares give this a go.
Thank you very much, Bruce. People are saying it's been a long time since I held a comb, which I laugh and also cry.
Oh, I mean, surely like down here you
don't often comb my beard. No, I brush it. Brush it. You've got to maintain a little bit. Okay, so we're on to, this is the next one, right, which is the Great Grelic Run.
I feel like you have to take this one because you love Grelics so much.
I love Grelics. It's got a note here for to play. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's right. So actually, before we talk about the Great Grelic Run, we'll actually let the team behind the event tell you a little bit about it themselves.
The Guardians, an ancient, mysterious, and extinct race of beings. Ruins of their civilization dot pockets of space like the tombstones of the dead. Their advanced technology is still holding mysteries for humanity to uncover. And recently, with the activation of the Proteus wave, these relics of the Guardians have begun to have a new reaction with Thargoid technologies. What are we witnessing? What is this new reaction and what does it mean? What use could this hold for humanity? What can we learn from both of these sentient and advanced races? Is there answers to be found amongst these gravestones of the dead? Are we destined to follow the Guardians into obscurity? These are the questions the movement, Reforge Aegis, hopes to help answer. Hello, Commanders. Pickles the Bard here, once again shamelessly interrupting whatever it was you were doing to bring you another broadcast. Seems they haven't patched me out yet. Bringing you this broadcast today to report on the community event hosted by the independent commanders of the movement Reforge Aegis. These commanders, coming together from dozens of squads and representing every major faction operating within human-populated space, have cast aside their differences, instead choosing a path of collaboration, cooperation, and solidarity as a united human species. In an effort to aid the brilliant remaining scientists of Aegis, Reforge Aegis has organized this great relic run to uncover and unearth as many relics of the Guardians as possible before bringing them to the eerie Thargoid ground sites, converting them to unclassified relics and delivering them to Ramton Palin for further study. The hope is that new discoveries will lead to new technologies, methods of communication and defense, two forms of technology humanity currently sorely lacks. To kick off this archaeological and scientific expedition, the members of Reforge Aegis hosted a party at the Guardian Ruins. Commanders from dozens of factions arrived to show their support and solidarity of the effort before quite literally digging into the expedition to recover a record-breaking number of relics for study and applied sciences. The party was a resounding success. Commanders, if only for a brief moment, were able to abandon the existential dread of what is looming over the future of humankind to focus instead on a moment of joy, optimism, and fun. The evening was spent in some of the best company the galaxy has to offer. The comms filled with energetic music, laughter, and an unshakable hope that we will do better. After all, we are all we have.
Amazing. Great video from Reforge Aegis there. So it's a lot of fun. Also, we were just talking about the AX Weaponry and sort of, if you've not been to a Guardian site doing that loop and you want to learn, this is probably a fun event for you to go in there. You'll be filled with lots of people that are very are experts in this sort of stuff, so they'll be able to guide you through how to to get your relics and then turn them into relics.
100%.
And enjoy it. But if you've not been to the Garden site, they're a really fun place to explore. But I'll read you the blurb from the actual post from Reforge Aegis. So it says, the two leaders of xenotechnology and research, Ramtar and Professor Palin, are seeking these green-tainted Guardian relics for further study. The supporters of Reforge Aegis have thus planned a week-long event to load, convert and deliver these mysterious green-tainted relics to the galaxy's lead engineers. This event will take place between the systems Sinuef CE-R C21-6, Delphi, and the two engineer systems Mene and Arqui. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. Fleet carriers with the Reforge Aegis banner will be stationed above sites in Sinuef CE-R C21-6 and Delphi. These carriers will help move the relics between collection and converting locations. Final converted green relics must be transported by participating commanders to either Professor Paling or Ramtar. Those engineers are offering substantial financial payouts upon delivery. This is actually a continuation of a successful initial event which extends throughout the rest of November. Use !Grelic to join the Reforge Aegis Discord and get involved. You'll be able to confer with other members and try your luck at ranking on the leaderboards. But as I said, it'd be a great way to learn about getting your exploring Guardian ruins and that sort of stuff. So there'll be a lot of players there that have know their way around a relic or two.
Yeah, absolutely. And you probably want help if you haven't been to the Guardian sites before, because they're not just free for the taking.
Yeah. They're a little bit Indiana Jones-ish. There are some surprises for you if you're not careful.
Sure.
So yeah, that's cool. Interestingly, I had some words there about the existential dread that's surrounding the galaxy. I don't know if players thought about that. I mean, I did see the partial translation of "We see them, we are coming." How do players feel about that partial translation? I mean, are you happy? Maybe it's just, I don't know. How do you see it, Bruce?
I'm concerned. I mean, I think in the same way a lot of other commanders are concerned. I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to Colonia. And that's a reasonable response. I would stick around the bubble just to see what goes on, but maybe at a safe distance. In the same way those players, the populations on the fringes where the Stargoids are actually going to arrive, I would probably move. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'd be looking at, I don't know, getting a holiday home or something and just checking out for a little bit.
Just get yourself a little camper van and just going across. So yeah, interesting. But look, another fun event. So thank you very much for Reforge Aegis for popping it on. Real great bunch and a really fun video as well. I enjoyed that video. It's quite nice.
That was
like
actually
a little party.
That was from. I'm trying to remember the name. Sorry, it was Bard Pickles, I think, from the Reforge Aegis group who put that together. So thank you very much to them.
Wow. Okay, amazing.
Before we move on, I actually wanted to shout out this funny-looking NPC right here, who's not an NPC at all, actually. We had a comment in the chat that I saw.
He's doing the Shia LaBeouf thing.
Yeah, they said, who's this strange NPC just vibing in the back? That's actually none other than producer Adam's commander just here, who's very helpfully providing the camera for us, which is great.
He's actually preferring security work around the bar.
Oh, right,
to make sure no other rogue commanders come in. So he's just there. If your name's not down, you're not coming in, mate. All right? We are the management. So he's just doing some security work. So don't worry about him. He's fine.
We've actually had producer Adam lurking in the background of other shows as well.
Yeah.
Like sometimes behind a window.
We should definitely do this, and we should do like a Where's Wally? Where's Wally? But just do it with producer Adam's character. So every show that he'll be somewhere, just a head between like the flowers, just like looking.
We're going to have to make it really difficult, though. I think. So yeah, we'll start finding places to hide him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. We have to do that now. Right, okay, cool. Right. Okay, so next on our list, you may have noticed, was it last 2 weeks, week and a half ago? Somewhere there.
Yeah, about that.
We launched the Elite Partner Program. So some time ago we mentioned that we wanted to start working more closely with Elite Dangerous content creators to support and amplify their content. So, for example, moving forwards with partners. So the Elite Partner Program is now fully live, and we're delighted to announce we'll be working with the following creators. Do you want to take the first 5 and I take 5, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, sure, we can do 5.
Well, yeah. You do 5 and I'll do 5. Do 7. I like 7. Do 7.
Okay, so we are delighted to announce we are working with Psykit, Unusual Cupcake, Crispy Tater Tot, Captain Flint, Boss Lady B, Commander Ascorbius,
Malik VR, Brother Sabias, Super Chicken, The Burr Pit, Down to Earth Astronomy, Obsidian Ant, Lave Radio,
Hutton Orbital, Galnet's News Digest, Commander Orange Phoenix, Father Bill, Roots Rat, and Ninja Space Unicorn.
Okay, so congratulations, and we're really pleased to be working with such a wonderful bunch. But that's not all. So whether you already applied or you haven't yet, but you would like to join this list, please use the EPP, and this will take you straight to the Influencer portal to find out all you need to know. Applications will be reviewed every quarter to match our plans for steady expansion. So this is something that we're really keen on. It's very much that our wonderful influencer team are working on this project, but something that I'm very keen on. Yes, we have an initial list of creators here, but we do want to expand that list. So I know other games do this, and they do it quite well, so we've taken a lot of cues from other titles, but we're adding a little twist on it. So if you do want to be a elite partner program, please have a look at that exclamation mark, take a look at the details, and we'll be having a look. I think it's February, is we have a look at the next batch. My timing's correct.
Yes, I think it'll be February.
So have a little look, and that'd be great. And obviously we're supporting with various Twitch drops for their streams. Obviously you get a little welcome pack, which contains skateboards for you cool kids.
Yeah, so we've got, these skateboards are part of the merchandise sort of welcome pack, alongside some sort of Letterman style elite jackets, which are very cool.
If you asked me, I brought one down. I was literally in the room, and you were like...
Well, actually, we'll save you the trouble, because some of our creators have already shared on social media pictures of themselves wearing the apparel. So we've got Crispy Tater Tot. I think it's actually one of the first to receive, because you met up with Crispy, didn't you?
I did. I met up with Crispy, yeah.
This is Captain Flint showing off... Oh, sorry, Adam's just jumping back and forth. He's ducking and diving. So this is Captain Flint showing off their collection as well. They've actually also got one of the terrariums that we did.
Yep.
For Odyssey in the background there. So yeah, very cool. I like he's already wall-mounted his board. This is Wotherspoon, obviously from Galnet News Digest, looking very cool. And then this is actually Orange Phoenix's cat. I'm so sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of the cat, but regardless, she is very much enjoying walking over the jumper there. So yeah, that's great.
Is that the last picture?
That is the last picture.
Well, I mean, it's the cutest picture to end on. Not saying the others weren't cute, but I mean, you have to go to beat a cat.
Yeah.
But what I hope you take from that chat is obviously, when I referenced to go upstairs to grab this, we have a stack of these upstairs because we do plan to expand that partnership program. So it isn't just the initial batch, of creators. We have planned ahead for this one. So we are looking to expand this and go forward and continue, because we know what's coming for Elite Dangerous. So we're very keen to get as many people as excited as possible. So yeah, there we go. If you're part of the program, welcome. If you want to join, !EPP will get you all the details you will need to know.
I see someone in the chat saying expand it to everyone. So I just want to talk a little bit about why we're starting off with a fairly small group and then we're going to slowly add to it. Basically, we just want to get the chance to work closely with a few members first and understand what kind of things you guys need, how we can help you and that sort of thing. Similar to the Twitch drops, where we started fairly slowly and now we're doing them every single show on a rotation. We're adding new ones all the time. It's a similar sort of deal with the influencer program. So that's the plan. Applications, like Arthur has said, will go out every quarter and we'll review them and grow that list. So like I say, if you apply, it may be that you meet all the criteria and we want to accept you. It's just you're going to wait until the next batch. That's all.
It's one of those things where, look, we are trying something we haven't done before. We fully expect we're going to make some mistakes. That's just part of the process. We'll learn from it, and every iteration will just get better. That's the idea. Like, we're not going to go out there and say that we're going to go like wholesale straight away. Nor am I going to sit here and say we're going to open up to everyone at a later date, because I don't think that will ever be the case. But we do want to just keep expanding it and making sure we're doing it at a rate that we can control, but also provide value not only to the audience but also to the creators that are part of the program. Because we want to be able to do that, otherwise it's kind of pointless for them as well. So
yeah, sure. And at the same time, our team has been really good at this actually. So when they established the partner program, they said, hey, we want to work closely with a certain group and we're going to look to expand that group, but we also want to do something to support all creators where we can. So actually the next round of Twitch drops, and you'll find out more about this if you're in the program fairly soon, but the plan is to have, from the latest set, a number of them available to the partners, but there's also going to be one variant that actually will be available to all streamers on Twitch, whether you're in the partner program or not, just so that we can show support to everyone who produces content.
There you go. So we'll probably have a post on that somewhere to make that clear, because I'm thick and sometimes I struggle. But yeah, that's great to hear. So people are asking to give it to everyone. We can't give everything to everyone, but we can do some things, and we will do whatever we can to give it the best way possible for everyone. Right. So that's the partnership program, which is pretty cool. And great to see people doing it. You're never going to see me on a skateboard. I was
going to say, aren't you going to kickflip for us?
Hello, my fellow kids. No, you will not see me kickflip. Okay. I know what that is, by the way. I used to be able to do a kickflip.
Really? I never could do a single skate. I could roll down a hill and not fall off most of the time, but that's about as far as I ever
stand on the skateboard? Did you were like hands and knees?
No, standing. I never dropped in or anything like that. That's as far as I got.
I never dropped in.
That's where you stand on the, I mean, do you not? I don't know. I don't know how au fait you are with skateboarding.
You forget, I was born in the, like Bane. I was born in the 80s. Right, anyways, moving on. So next up we have one of my favourite segments. I guess you should probably refresh as well. If you are just joining us, I'm Arthur, this is Bruce. Welcome to Super Cruise News, episode 21. We talk all things elite, community-based, game-based. This is the stream before the next big update, update 14, which will be dropping on November 29th. So we do these every 2 weeks. So our next stream will be just the day after.
2 days after.
2 days after, sorry. 2 days after update 14 drops. So that'll be a bumper show. This show today might be, well, it probably will be less than 2 hours. We may just hit an hour now, and we're coming towards the final couple of segments. So just to give you a brief recap, if you just joined us, we have mentioned the community calendar and stuff that's going on. There's the Great Grelic Run. There's some bucketball stuff going on the community calendar. If you want to have a look at that calendar, is there an exclamation mark for that?
Yes, there's exclamation mark calendar will take you to the event's calendar. But if you want to check out that specific event, exclamation mark bucketball will take you to the race post. And the other event we mentioned was the Great Grelic Run, which is actually an extension of their initial event. They thought, hey, you know what? Why not do this till the end of the month because the first batch went so well. Exclamation mark Grelic to check out that one.
Awesome. If you just joined in 15, if you can hang on for 15 minutes, you get yourself 2 exclusive skins. They are the autumn paint jobs. I don't know if producer Adam, because I'm going to throw him under the bus here, can show us these paint jobs. They are Topaz and
Sapphire
and
for
Sapphire
the
for
Explorer from the
Asp
autumn set.
Explorer, there we go. So you'll own those. The purple paint jobs are running. I don't need to go into the details on those because I don't want to fluff it. And
you don't remember off the top of your head?
I don't want to give you any ammunition, Bruce, so no, I'm not going to go through them, but basically we always run the purple Twitch drops. There are some new ones coming for Christmas. We'll tease those out shortly. We're also, to be fair, we're also working on a pretty fun Christmas stream as well, but more on that as we get closer. Update 14 news, what we did share with you was limited because we don't want to give anything away. What we did say players can expect to find in Update 14 is there will be a new Thargoid Interceptor players will encounter. It will not be like anything you've encountered before and will behave in mysterious ways. It will not like being disturbed, and if it is disturbed, will call for help. And that is all we're going to tell you about that particular piece. We are looking at a rebalancing of the payout for biological exploring, so that'll be coming in the next 2 weeks, I believe.
Hopefully as soon as next week.
As soon as next week, there we go. And we're also looking at, we're aware of players wanting to get into AX combat at a higher level, but don't want to do the Guardian sort of loop. So we are working at how we can get higher end, sort of stock AX weaponry to a more competitive level. They won't be as good as the Guardians, to be clear, but they'll be on a good enough level for you to take on some of the higher end Thargoids like your Medusas and such. So that's kind of some of the news we've gone through today. But that's the show. That's a brief recap. But now we're going to go into some stellar screenshots.
Yes, indeed. So the Stellar Screenshots is a competition that we run every single week. So on Wednesdays, we share our favorite screenshots that you have submitted throughout that week. You can do so by following us on Twitter or Facebook, or even just checking out the forum thread, which is dedicated to this. And on the Stellar Screenshot threads, if you send in your screenshots and we end up featuring them in our list in the following week, then you'll see them presented like this. If it's on a week that we're streaming, you'll see them here like you are right now. And anyone that does get featured in this way will win an exclusive paint job. Throughout October, we actually gave some special Halloween ones on top, and we're going to be doing something similar for Christmas. But for the time being, it's just the standard ones, which are still very rare and exclusive, which are the Asp Explorer Shatter paint jobs in acid, ice, and lava variants. So that's what Stellar Screenshots is, and this week's entries, we're kicked off by this submission from Commander Andam Bellium.
Very cool. I think a member of our team would be particularly keen on this one. There's a lot of pink in this image.
Yeah, it's very pink.
So I think Sally would be keen on this one. But I like this shot. There's a Plainsman outfit, isn't it? The lower part, I think.
Could be.
And then I think that's a Dominator helmet. I can't be sure. But I like it next to a Geyser. So is it a Geyser? Geyser, right? I've had this chat before. Chat, help me out. Is it Geyser or Geyser? You say tomato, I say tomato.
I don't say either of those. I do like it when you say
you
Geyser.
You just say steak.
It sounds very
Geyser.
It sounds authentic when you say it.
Well, I'm from London, am I?
I suppose you is.
I nearly said some words that will get me in trouble. My old man should follow the van. That's yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next stellar screenshot. I like this. This I think is HIP 22460. This looks like wreckage of one of the sites around there. I want to say it is Commander Aaron Blake. Maybe it's not, but it's definitely wreckage.
It's a Goid bin blown up.
It's a Goid bin and gone deaded.
That's exactly right.
And there is a Python with a rather snazzy ship kit on it.
Yeah, I don't know what the paint job is either. Those lines.
Oh, that's
I'm trying to remember.
It'll come to me in a minute.
That paint job.
Oh, it'll come to me in a minute.
Chat will let us know very quickly. In the meantime, very cool shot. Oran
Pulse.
Blake. Is it? I wanted to say Pulse, but
Everyone's saying Pulse.
I thought it wasn't Pulse. But okay, fine.
Group shot said grew up in Hackney. I was born just off edge of a road. Well, I wasn't born just off the road, just on the side of the road. I was born in St Mary's Hospital in London,
right,
but
okay.
It wasn't on the road. I wasn't that old, like in ancient times, where my mum and dad were on a cart, and they just started to go, just drop them off. And anyways, this has gone off in a direction I wasn't ready for. Right, but a great shot. No, I like this shot. It's green and grey, very nice, yes. Very nice.
Oh, that's cool.
This is cool. What's that, Bruce?
That looks like a rogue signal source of Thargoid origin to me.
Right, it does.
How would you describe it?
I just describe it as exactly that. What's the picture taken from inside of, though?
So clearly Boyo Kendall is inside an old washing machine.
Oh, as often found in space.
Right,
yes.
And is looking out and saying, oh dear, this is the worst possible place I could be trapped while this thing is on its way.
That, I would imagine, would be exactly the thoughts. It must be some wreckage, right? Taken through the wreckage of something.
It's very cool, though. I like the way they've done it so that it's like we're looking through or we're inside whatever the old wreckage is. Nicely done, very creative, well done.
Kind of reminds me of the Millennium Falcon cockpit, just the circular thing.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
That's cool, but nice work, Commander.
Don't get confident. Kendall.
Don't get confident?
Yeah.
Are you... Oh, my... Trouble with the Tribbles... Right, I get. And now you're not even quoting Star Wars. You're just making words up that are in Star Wars and just realigning them. What is it?
That's the bit where the kid shoots the.
It says "Don't get cocky, kid."
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Adam, can we retroactively bleep Arthur and his profanity? Terrible.
I don't think cocky is a swear word. It's not a swear word. Not.
For shame.
It's not. We'll see. And that's how Arthur was banned from Twitch. Right, so this is really cool. Some Guardian fighters going in. Where they're going or what they're fighting, you can't see, but they're obviously doing something. Bruce,
they are doing something. That's for sure. Super cool shot. I think I've said this before. I think a lot of the stellar screenshots submitters. I couldn't think of a better word for that. Sorry. I think they played the game a little bit. So obviously, the pink stuff tends to do very well when Sally is picking these out. Equally, anyone who knows Paul knows that he loves death and destruction. So if you get an explosion in there or something on fire, you're probably in with a shout.
Yeah.
And I think I've said before, I love sort of monochromatic shots with some like colourful and vibrant neon element. And this one ticks that box for me. It just looks super, super cool.
I really like this. This does give me some big Star Wars vibes, actually. If you know some of the extended lore, there's the TIE Defender. Looks very similar to this actual the Guardian ship, but this is a really cool shot, and I like the fact that everything's in motion as well, so you get a real sense of speed in this shot, which is really, really cool. I think as well, because you see the stars sort of blurring as always, not stars, but you know what I mean. It's great to see it in motion in these images. But yeah, I never saw Paul as happy as he was when we did the stellar scream shots. It was the glee on his face every day. I've just seen something else is on fire. All these dead bodies. I was like, okay, Paul, good morning. Had your coffee then. Cool. So well done, Commander Brit the Fury.
I don't think it was Fury.
Oh, was it Fury?
I think so.
Okay, was it 2 R's? Okay, there we go. Cool. This is a cool shot. This is massive Aliens vibes. Huge Aliens vibes. Anyone else getting this, chat? This feels like MedLab, and that is very much like reminds me of Hicks.
They mostly come on Thursdays, mostly.
I shouldn't be this close to a board with you sat next to me, Bruce, because it just feels like optimal swing.
Oh no, the Empire is striking back.
Oh, my God. Right. Someone just said TIE Defender the most overpowered ship. If you were referring to the game TIE Fighter, absolutely was. It was actually the missile boat was ridiculous. But anyways, this is actually a fantastic stellar screenshot. Very spooky vibes. This could have definitely been Stellar Screenshot winner, so I'm pleased to see it here as well.
Yeah,
this is a really, really cool shot. Like, I love this so much. It's so
There's
cool.
a lot of mood in this.
I'd like to see this again with like 2 or 3 commanders all armed, but not with the kinematic weapons, like the rifles, and like all moving in like similar outfits and stuff like that.
Clearing the room.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Sure.
That's really, really cool. But that's a great shot, Commander Fred 89210.
Riverside came up with this screenshot. What exactly are we looking at? A spiky...
It's a spiky boy, isn't it?
Spiky boy, yeah. With a lump on it in the foreground.
Might want to go and see a doctor about that.
Don't know how else to describe
Not sure how we want to describe that.
But yeah, really cool framing here. And I actually like the way they've got the asteroid belt tilted to sort of split up the background of the shot as well. And obviously the glowing orbs, glowing bits, I suppose, sort of floating around. Super atmospheric, really nicely done.
Yeah. Yeah, this actually feels a little bit Christmassy. I think because it's green and sparkly. Maybe I'm getting a bit of strong seasonal vibes here.
I see that.
The foreground lumpy rock, as I refer to it, probably detracts slightly from the Christmas vibe. So I'll leave that for chat to decide. But yeah, it's great shot.
So I was just going to say the rock sort of representing how Paul feels about Christmas.
Yeah, yes, it was. Whispering's not going to help because the microphone's right next to you there, Bruce. This is another fantastic screenshot. Love how sort of red this is. A very, very stark and crisp lines in this as well. Commander Sapphire. But this is a very like Western style gunslinger.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, walking to their ship, I'm assuming, but it could just be walking into town to like do some business.
I feel like they've probably just finished whatever business they were dealing with, and now they're going to fly off. I think maybe it's one of those shots again where we're sort of low to the ground and at a tilt. I wonder if we're among the
one of the last of the victims.
Yeah. I'm getting that kind of feel.
Just falling down. Yeah, it's cool.
We've had a pistols at dawn situation, and
I also like again
the one walking away.
It's the fact that the actual subject matter is in motion, so that they're actually mid-step. So
Yes.
your mind can now process what's actually happening here, but that slow sort of swagger walk away.
The cool
which is really
walk
cool.
away.
Yeah, the cool walk, yeah. And then maybe there's an explosion behind them and they won't look back. That kind of stuff, you know, because cool guys don't look back at explosions. Do they?
Right, exactly.
That's the rules.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, we have, wow.
Tree Man Boy getting up to some no good at one of the Thargoid sites. I love the pose as well.
Yeah, that's like, I pressed the button, I should have done this.
Oh, I was getting kind of like a maniacal, It's Alive kind of Frankenstein vibe.
Oh yeah, no, you could.
sort
Yeah,
of,
you could.
yeah.
Is this Grelix being made? This looks like Grelix being made.
Yeah, it could be.
This is cool though. Again, if you haven't done sort of the Thargoids sort of sites, you should definitely go check these out, especially when you activate one with the map that comes up. It's really, really cool to see, very atmospheric. And obviously just going in there with Relics and Grelix, and obviously there's the Grelic run that's going on, so you get to do a lot of all of this stuff, the Guardian sites, and then going on to do this. And there's fleet carriers to take you to and from, so it saves you all the jumping around. So if you get a chance to do it, I really recommend doing this because it is some of the most atmospheric stuff you can do. And also, if you like taking screenshots, you get absolute doozies like this.
100%. So this is sort of the Thargoid's answer to the fantastic light show you get at a Guardian site when you fully activate it. This is their response to that, and it's a heck of a thing to see. Very, very cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. All right, next up we have Commander Triffid. Now, hang on. This is another pop reference, Triffid. Does this mean anything to you at all?
So, I don't want to disappoint you. The answer is no, but I think it's like a alien plant, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's a killer plant that drops to Earth. Yeah, blinds everyone.
But from what?
What, alien stuff? I don't know.
It's just generally alien stuff.
They look up and then there's a flash and then most people are blind and then they sort of get eaten by plant. It isn't the most efficient way of invading the planet, I'm going to be honest, because the aliens themselves are pretty slow.
I mean, it sounds like truffle to me. I'd be tempted to, like,
Attack of the Killer Truffles.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a really bad trauma movie. Right, okay, we have, that is a Corvette, right, on its side, I think, on the left-hand side.
If it's not, chat will very quickly...
I will get murdered.
They will swiftly,
I'll get murdered. Is it a vet or is it an anaconda at an angle? I might be an anaconda.
They will swiftly and effectively correct you.
Yeah, please tell me. It is a vet. Okay.
Okay. You're safe.
I'm so far. And we're going, this is a makeshift, right? So But what's interesting here is the fact that the vet is actually, it appears to be motionless. Like its thrusters and engines aren't, it's not moving anywhere. It's moving. I
feel like they're approaching
stealthily
the megaship. Well, maybe not even stealthily. Maybe they're being held up. Maybe it's they've got to pass a few clearance checks. They've asked for permission to dock, but they haven't got it just yet. So they're waiting. Engines off, safe distance.
Put a coupler on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could be that. Could very well be that.
Guys at the station have got their feet up. They're maybe saying, well, let's one wait for a little bit while we they're having a cup of coffee as well. Everyone's just drinking tea and coffee basically, and no one's getting any work done.
Right. Well, thanks, Bruce, for the overly detailed synopsis of what's going on in the side the Corvette. Right. Okay. Great shot though. Really nice framing as well. And last but by no means least, we have. And here's a ship we don't see a lot of actually, which is bizarre because it is a really good looking ship.
Good looking.
Like I really don't know why we don't see much more of the Mamba. Just because it's such a good looking ship.
It's super cool. And I love the metallic sheen that they've got on the paint job as well, just reflecting all the light off that star. This is just super cool.
Yeah, this reminds me of like one of those sort of 80s
synthwave kind of.
Yeah, but also like 80s sci-fi box art cover. It's like traditional spaceships styly stuff. I think this ship is beautiful and it's a real fun ship to fly. Like I think it might have been Plater and you that introduced me to the Flak Mamba. We did many streams ago. Which was loads and loads of fun. But the Mamba's
that ship was a beast as well.
Yeah, it was an animal. It absolutely destroyed anacondas like up close. It was just like absolutely murdering the old space sausage.
Because they're so fast as well, the Mambas as well. I rate that ship a lot.
Yeah, some say it looks like a fish, like a manta ray. Yeah, I could say, yeah, you can see that. You can absolutely see that. Yeah, it's a really cool shot.
Yeah, well done, Commander Tumama.
Yes. Right. Okay. I think that is the last image. I may be wrong.
Yes, that is the final stellar screenshot.
All right. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of today's show. And it was going to be a shorter one today because, in fairness, all the juicy stuff is coming after update 14.
Yeah,
so we don't want to stretch this out too long with much of nothing. But I do want to stress again, the bits we have told you about update 14 are by no means the meat and potatoes of update 14. They're just the bits we can kind of talk to you about. The rest of it, you're going to have to wait until 14 drops and experience yourself and see. We can't wait for you to get involved in what 14 will bring. It is November 29th. That will be when update 14 will be dropping. When we get nearer the time, we'll share any notes ahead of time. In terms of downtime, we're expecting this to be a bit longer. There's a lot of stuff happening with update 14.
It's a juicy one.
It might be a longer downtime, but again, as soon as we get the timings for that, we'll post that and let you know as soon as we can. And we're not holding that information back. And if we can get you stuff like the sizes of downloads as well, we know it's a question some of you ask, so we'll try and get that when we can. So that's that. And that's kind of our stream. I expect the one after 14 will be longer because we've got some interviews lined up. Like I said, we did have interviews for this one, but when we look back at it and reflected on it, it'd be a lot of not talking about stuff, very much like kind of what we've done a little bit about today. And we just want to actually, when we talk about it 2 days after, go into detail about some certain things that are in 14 that you're going to experience, and then you'll understand what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much looking forward to those conversations on the 1st. So we hope you will join us in a couple of weeks' time for that show. In the meantime, I'd like to thank you very much for being my co-host on today's show, Arthur. I'd like to thank producer Adam behind the scenes, well, not even behind the scenes, right here, for helping out and making the show run as smoothly as it always does. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank the mods in the chat for always doing a fantastic job here on the forums and everywhere else. And we'd like to thank you all for watching. And like I said, we really hope you'll join us in a couple of weeks' time on the 1st for our next show. In the meantime, have a fantastic fortnight and we'll see you then.
See you soon. 07 everyone. Bye-bye.